Hey everyone, I want to do my project on the P-51D Mustang because not only is it one of the most iconic and famous planes of World War II, but it's personal to me because my grandfather got to fly them near the end of the war. So I wanted to see what the cool plane he got to fly in versus the little stupid Cessna that I have to fly in for school. Alright, so before the age of jet fighters, our most powerful enemy was the Messerschmitt Bf-109s. They had a top speed of 350 miles per hour and had a ceiling of 36,000 feet, higher than any of our Allied planes could go at that time. But we all know the Bf-109s were eventually beat out by the P-51D Mustang, so I want to know what kind of engine do they have to make in order to beat them. To figure this out, I had to look at the mission of each plane. The German fighters were able to focus on sheer power output because they didn't have to worry about going long distances. All I wanted to do was shoot down Allied fighters and bombers in surrounding countries. Meanwhile, on the American side of things, that's when they decided the main purpose of their new P-51 Mustangs was to escort these bombers to high-value targets such as factories, docks, ports, but they also needed to be able to dogfight enemy German fighter planes trying to take down the bombers. To achieve this goal of long and high flight, the final and famous engine created for the P-51 Mustang was the American and British jointly created Packard V1650 Merlin engine. The early iterations of the Mustang had an Allison V1710 engine, but that only produced 1,100 horsepower and was said to be impressive up to 15,000 feet, which is around half of that of equivalent German fighters. The Packard-made Merlin engine was the best engine for the already perfect P-51 airframe. Here's a video showing the basic engine specifications and how it works from Jacob O'Neill from Animagraphs.
12 cylinders in a 60-degree V formation and produces 1,400 horsepower with a top speed of 430 plus miles per hour. Air enters through an intake under the nose section and is forced through a large centrifugal or circular-shaped supercharger. Engine cooling is handled with a radiator located just behind the wings under the fuselage. The low-hanging scoop is separate from the airplane body to capture cleaner air that's further from the turbulence-causing exterior features and propeller air. The placement also allows a longer duct to take advantage of the Meredith effect, where hot air from the radiator's normal function can be used to produce thrust, recovering as much as 90% of the drag caused by the radiator scoop. The radiator exhaust port has an adjustable flap to regulate outflow. A separate engine oil cooler with its own exhaust flap also resides in the scoop.
The main reason for its high horsepower was the two-speed and two-stage or two-impeller automatic supercharger. The ability of the supercharger to maintain a sea-level atmosphere in the induction system to the cylinders allowed the Packard Merlin to develop more than 1,270 horsepower at altitudes beyond 30,000 feet. Even though it was an automatic supercharger, pilots are still able to do a manual override in emergency situations. The aircraft shuddered violently and pilots had to learn to anticipate the cut-in and reduce throttle. When descending, the change to low blower took place at about 14,500 feet, and the only indication of the event was a drop in manifold pressure. The supercharger cuts into the high blower at around 19,000 feet. The two-impeller supercharger created too much heat for the fuel-air mixture during the compression stage, however. To prevent detonation of the compressed charge, it was necessary to cool the mixture prior to entry into the cylinders. The cooling was accomplished in an intercooler passage cast into the wheel case housing between the first and second stage impellers. The heat caused by the impellers would get as high as 204 degrees Celsius, which means this engine needs to be liquid cooled, and not only that, it would have to be assisted by the radiator in the scoop under the plane. but at least 90% of the drag caused by the radiator scoop was able to be recovered. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.